Oh, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gary with Gentleman Fan TV back at you. Video like the content of this video, go smash that like button, like the content of this channel. Go and subscribe, man. Look, Ravens finished up another day of training camp practice. I'm gonna give my thoughts about it, injury report, offense, defense, things like that. And yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about it. All right. Now for the injury report, the Ravens officially put rookie cornerback Robert Longerbeam on IR. He's been out a few practices now. I believe he had like a shoulder injury. I think he collided with might have been LaJohntay Wester for a contested catch almost a week ago now at this point. So just like Bilal Kone, he's going on IR. So the Ravens now have two rookies that they drafted in the 6th round, both going on IR for the season, right? So tough break there. The Ravens did sign a new running back today. They signed Myles Gaskin. The Ravens need some more running back bodies, right? If Key is not going to get a lot of reps in the preseason, Derrick Henry and Justice Hill aren't going to touch the preseason, I don't think, right? Derrick Henry definitely not. Justice Hill, I don't think so either. I believe they signed Dearness Johnson like a week ago. Now they have Myles Gaskin. So now Myles Gaskin, Dearness Johnson, maybe a little bit more Keaton Mitchell. They can all kind of split those reps at running back, all right? Now some other guys who didn't practice today. Keaton Mitchell, DeAndre Hopkins, Jair Alexander, William Kenku, and Kyle Hamilton. So far, from what John Harbaugh has said, none of those seem to be or appear to be serious things. He's not letting anything out the bag about anything, that's going to go into potentially week 1 of the season, right? It seems like everybody's just kind of either rest days or minor injuries, right? So we'll leave it at that until we know more. Okay, now as far as the offense, right? Offense up and down day, right? Offense had a good solid day overall. Even reports saying that they were pretty sharp today, right? So that's good to hear. But they did have some of the same issues with false starts again today. All right, now they had 2 false starts in 5 plays. It caused Lamar Jackson to slam his helmet to the ground. Slam the football to the ground. In this time, it was the first teamers, right? It was Roger Rosengarten and it was Ronnie Stanley committing the 2 false starts in the 5 plays, right? So John Harbaugh frustrated, Lamar Jackson frustrated. This is an issue that we're seeing commonly. I've talked about it yesterday, talking about it again today. It's not something that's being made about a thin air, right? It's something that's happening. So for the Ravens, when we look out for week 1, things that we can draw back to from this time period, we have to see how the Ravens are pre-snap penalties. We have to see it, right? Are they better? Have they learned? Have they gotten better? Or one of the most penalized teams in the league last year, the Baltimore Ravens, are they going to continue to be one of the most penalized teams in the league? We'll see. All right. Now, there was and also John Harbaugh, once again, he subbed out the entire offensive line when that happened. Anyway, so like I said, not an overall bad day for the offense, right? There was some big plays to Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, all made big plays today. Lamar Jackson had a couple of nice throws today. They mentioned, I don't think I had a picture of it, but they mentioned a one-on-one rep between Rashad Bateman and Nate Wiggins. Rashad Bateman won on a double move. Lamar Jackson did a nice little touch throw to get it in there. So that was nice. Bateman versus Wiggins happened again, and this time Nate Wiggins ended up winning the matchup, right? So they ended up going 1-1. But for the offense, nice period. They had, I believe Zay Flowers might even call a touchdown for Lamar Jackson, like 13 yards out. The key players on offense made good plays today, right? It was a solid day overall. It was a good bounce back day from an overall pretty frustrating day yesterday. They had a really good day today, right? As far as the first teamers go. So that's good to hear. The only thing that needs to be tightened up right now is the false starts, right? It seems like the 2 things that the Ravens were really struggling with when I'm just seeing the reports, right? It was the false starts, pre-snap penalties, and it was the red zone. The red zone seems to have gotten a lot better over the last, I would say, week or so, right? You're not hearing as much struggles in the red zone. But the false starts are still remaining an issue, right? So if the Ravens continue to check things off the list, and hopefully we won't, by the end of next week, right, we won't hear reports about the Ravens having issues with false starts, right? That's the hope, that's the goal, right? So we'll see what happens from here. All right. Now for the defense, I didn't have much as far as like individual defensive plays, right? But there was one guy, Reuben Lowery, right? He caught another interception today in practice. He picked off Cooper Rush, right? Still, every time I talk about Cooper Rush as an interception, that's fine. He's the backup quarterback, it's whatever, right? We're going to talk about Reuben Lowery, okay? So Reuben Lowery is a guy that undrafted, made plays at rookie minicamp, made plays in OTAs, Now he's making plays in training camp, right? This is about maybe the third time I've mentioned Reuben Lowery's name, because he keeps catching interceptions, right? And the Ravens have said John Harbaugh mentioned Reuben Lowery by name in yesterday's press conference. I didn't put it in yesterday's video, but he mentioned Reuben Lowery by name. Said he's very impressed with his work. He can play all of the DB spots, inside, outside, and both safety spots. Okay, so if Reuben Lowery continues to show versatility, continues to make plays, there is a chance for him on this team. Because think about it now. Bilal Kone, IR, right? Major leg injury. Hopefully he's going to recover well. Robert Longavine, I just talked about it, going to IR. All right, the Ravens side, Myles Gaskin in his place, right? Getting up the body on the roster, right? Different positions, obviously. But point being, there is an opportunity here for Reuben Lowery to come up and really stay, on the active roster, right? I'm not saying it's a huge possibility because the Ravens still have a lot of talented corners before you could get to maybe Reuben Lowery playing. But the thing is, the Ravens like undrafted guys who continue to make plays, right? I believe the Ravens still have that active streak going of at least one undrafted guy making the 53-man roster. And even with as talented as the team as the Ravens have right now, Reuben Lowery is making a strong case to be that guy. All right. When you have undrafted guys and you continue to mention their name over and over and over again, you got to watch out for them. When the coaches are mentioning them in press conferences, you got to watch out for them. All right. So Reuben Lowery is a guy he's putting himself in firm position to try to make this team at the very least, right? He's making a very, very positive impression, right? So when he has somebody who has versatility and ball skills, the Ravens are looking out for that guy. They want to see what that guy can do, all right? So Reuben Lowery's put himself in a great position. Now, just to wrap it up, we'll talk about some O-line, D-line pass rush drills and Tyler Loop, right? So O-line, D-line pass rush drills, some of the highlights from it. Travis Jones beat Andrew Voorhees twice. They said one time it was, I think he said, a powerful club move. Tavius Robinson bullied Roger Rosengarten, but Roger Rosengarten bounced back versus Kyle Van Noy. So he bull rushed him. So I bull rushed Rosengarten. But Rosengarten bounced back versus Kyle Van Noy, right, with a good rep. And then Mike Green versus Ronnie Stanley, right? So Mike Green had a nice inside move, but Stanley recovered well. So good rep from both, right? So now just to take away from this is that, Travis Jones, I think, is in for a monster year, right? I think we've been saying this for the last couple of seasons, right? But I think he was good last year. He has a chance to be great this year, right? I believe this is a contract year for Travis Jones, right? So it's time to get paid. And with that being said, I think he's going to have a good year. I really do, right? He's one of the Ravens' best interior pass rushers. Just one of the Ravens' best players, period, if we're being honest, right? Not at the very, really top echelon of the list, but, he's not too far down, right? Travis Jones, I think, has a really, really good chance of moving his way up the Ravens list of who's the best player, some of the best players on this roster this year. He has the size, he has the skill, he has the power. Travis Jones is a really, really good player. All right. For Andrew Voorhees, it's a tough matchup. It's as simple as that. So yeah, that's it for that. It's good to see Mike Green and Ronnie Stanley go head to head. That's always cool to see you get your first round pick versus a guy that's an elite offensive tackle. So Mike Green continues to impress. Ronnie Stanley continues to be solid, continues to be a great, Pro Bowl, all pro caliber kind of tackle. And then lastly, right, Tyler Loop, right? Tyler Loop went 12 for 13 today. His one miss was from about 45 yards. So good solid day overall, right? 12 for 13 is a good day. Tyler Loop is he's proven to be consistent, right? He's missing maybe one field goal a day, but for the most part, he's knocking them down, right? That's what you want from your kicker, right? Can you be reliable? And Tyler Loop so far in practice has been reliable. In the game, he went 1 for 2. We would love to see 2 for 2 doing live action. But we'll see how it goes. I expect that every time the Ravens get a chance to kick in preseason, they're going to take the opportunity to see what Tyler Loop has, right? They're going to take that chance because the Ravens have pretty much made it clear that he's going to be the starting kicker, right? So you got to get him these reps in live game action, right? So, we'll see what happens from there. But 12 for 13, solid day overall. But I'm going to get out of here. That's going to end the video today. The Ravens offense, good day overall, right? Still have some issues with the false starts. Reuben Lowery continues to make a name for himself. And, Tyler Loop is having a really, really solid last couple weeks of training camp, right? So hopefully he can continue to do that. But that's my thoughts about today. It's Gabriel, just on the Fan TV. I'm out.